Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first video of 2024. So we're going to continue on with this little series I've been doing of talking about some of my favorite Disney Channel original movies, and today we're going to be talking about Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. Before we get started though, make sure you guys subscribe, do all that fun stuff you already know. Subscribing's free as hell. I have a couple other videos talking about other DCOM movies. I'll have a playlist linked below that you can check out, and let's go ahead and get started. So the movie starts off at a baseball game where the team playing is pretty bad. One positive thing I can say about this movie is that unlike motocross, which I talked about a while ago, this movie is showing that, any gender, boy, girl, whoever can play baseball because they actually have a girl on the team.
Wait! Okay? Wait.
Kimberly, your shoes!
But she's pretty bad too. The one bright spot on the team is Eddie. Not that Eddie, this Eddie. This movie premiered in July of 2003, and That's So Raven premiered the same year in January, so I'm assuming that this movie was filmed after the first season of That's So Raven was filmed. So were they trying to scam people into thinking this movie was about Eddie, Orlando Brown? I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy that less than 6-7 months after That's So Raven premiered, they made a movie with a guy called Eddie and had the guy from That's So Raven who played Eddie also in the movie. Think about that. Either way, Eddie is the son of one of the coaches, and he's the only good player on the team. One of Eddie's friends, Hannah, wants to try out for the baseball team, but has to lie to her parents, telling her that she's here for cheerleading. And I was just gassing up this movie talking about how they had a girl on the team, but I mean, it is the early 2000s, so girls playing baseball is still blasphemous, Girls can't do that. It's baseball. This is a man sport. When I said man sport, I thought of Jan sport, like the book Babs. I don't know why. After Eddie's team, which is called the Groundhogs, lose, Eddie treats his friends to his world famous Eddie Glizzies. But of course this is 2003, so they're not called Glizzies just yet, they're just hot dogs. He decorates it and garnishes it with damn near every topping. Eddie's father discusses him possibly going to a new team, a team whose level is up to him, so that he can possibly get scouted. But it's pretty clear even at the beginning of this movie that Eddie's not really into baseball. He likes it of course, but he more so likes it just to hang out with his friends, not to become a professional baseball player.
I know it's frustrating for you never really being able to play the game you're capable of playing.
What are you talking about? I play all the time.
No, that's not... Eddie, there's a lot at stake for you this year. If this is going to be your future, we really need to step your game up another notch.
Okay.
But of course this is Disney Channel, so we have the common Disney Channel dad trope, which is they're trying to live vicariously through their child, and they're putting all this pressure on them because they weren't able to accomplish whatever they wanted to when they were younger, so of course we have that. While his parents discuss this, Eddie turns on the TV to the cooking channel and watches in amazement as Bobby Flay cooks. Shout out to Bobby Flay. I haven't heard anything about him lately. Hopefully he hasn't said anything crazy or problematic. I feel like everyone had a Food Network phase where all they watched was the Food Network. I certainly did. And Bobby Flay, Rachel Ray, Guy Ferrero, or whatever his name is, those was my people I watched. And what's that lady? Barefoot Contessa? What's her name? Barefoot something? She was so chill. I like her. So yeah, shout out to Bobby Flay. So like I mentioned, the dad is pretty much pressuring Eddie to be this world famous baseball player, while the mom is definitely chill. Just like motocross, the mom is the only level-headed one and kind of peeps that he's doing too much, but she won't say anything obviously because the man runs the house. The mom cuts her finger while cooking, and Eddie's dad and older brothers take her to the hospital. Eddie is about to put the food his mom was about to cook away, but he has an idea to cook it himself with the help of his friends. It looks as though he's trying to make fried chicken and mashed potatoes, but he breads the chicken with Fruit Loops, and he decorates all the food like a volcano with some type of sauce going down it. I don't know, it looks gross, but everyone comes back home, and to everyone's surprise, including me, the food is actually good. And instead of thanking Eddie like his mom does, his friends and his older brothers make fun of him.
Okay, I think that's enough.
Oh, come on, Mom, look. It's Edwina, the daughter you've always wanted. Hi, I'm Edwina. I'm the little French chef, 8th grade, and my hobbies are cooking and cooking! Knock it off!
The next day at school, Eddie and his friends have to sign up for an elective class. They originally planned on signing up for computer science, but Eddie gets a look at the home economics room and he is just like, oh my god, look at this, I could be the next big chef in here. So while the chaos of signing up for electives happen, Eddie actually grabs the home ec sign up sheet instead of the computer science sign up sheet, and he covers up the name and gets his friends to sign it. And then the next thing we see is all of them in home economics class. Their friend Hannah, who is on the baseball team with them, is also in the class. Bridget, who is like a veteran home economics student, I guess, gets DB together in a Southern accent. I don't know what this accent is. I think it's supposed to be Southern. I don't know.
Really hilarious. Looky little sprite. Every quarter there's a group of stupid boys who get stuck in here because they were too stupid to sign up for computers or whatever and start acting all
Stupid?
exactly.
Speaking of home ec, did y'all have home economics growing up? And if you are younger, like if you're still in high school, do y'all have home ec? I didn't take home ec in high school because I just didn't want to do it, but I did have home economics in middle school. I'm pretty sure I was in the 7th grade. I'm pretty sure this movie, they're all middle schoolers. I think they're in the 8th grade. So yeah, this is around the time I also had home ec. And I mainly did the class because I like to eat. So I was like, if I can eat cookies all day and get like a good grade for it, like why the fuck not? But I didn't learn anything because I am still a bad cook. The home economics teacher brings up the $1 million cook-off where the winner gets a cash prize and a scholarship to a culinary institute. Eddie doesn't seem to show interest around his friends, but grabs a pamphlet once the class ends, and Hannah actually ends up seeing him grab it. In the middle of the night, Eddie sneaks off to the kitchen to practice his cooking skills. I'm not really sure what he's trying to cook here, but everything looks pretty gross and he makes a big mess. Later, Eddie's dad gets on to him about being unfocused playing baseball and that he needs to stop playing with his food like a girl. Like, y'all, I'm so glad like the gender norms and like the gender roles are like slowly fading. I mean, of course you have those people who like adhere to these gender roles. Like women are the only people who should cook. Like cook, like, you know, cook to make food to like survive. Only women should do that. Like, okay. And I'm saying this because I'm not a cook. Like I cook the basics of meals. Like I cook to literally survive. Like I'm not cooking for fun. I'm not cooking to like learn new things. I'm not cooking for pleasure. I'm literally cooking so that I won't die. Eddie talks to Bridget about cooking, and his friend DB, who you'll soon find out is like super annoying, is all like, what you doing? Like, what are y'all talking about? And Bridget says they're talking about the cook-off, and Eddie's like, no we're not. I don't want to know that I learned how to cook. I'll just put in a clip.
What are you doing?
Nothing?
We're talking about the cook-off.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
She's crazy. Come on, we better get back to
Hey, is something going on with you guys?
With me and Bridget? Get real.
Hello, standing right here.
So Eddie tries to deny it, as you can see in the clip, and when the teacher acknowledges that Eddie seems to be showing a lot of interest and seems to be pretty good, he counters that with starting a food fight. The first of many in this movie. Side note, have y'all ever been a part of a food fight in school? Like, we had them when I was in middle school, but I was never there for them because we always had like multiple lunches, and my lunches never did food fights, but some of them did, and honestly, I feel like I would never want to be a part of one because I'm not trying to get dirty. Like, girl, you see this? I was about to say, you see this Gucci. I don't even own Gucci right now as a 29-year-old. But when I was like in middle school, I was wearing like what? South Pole. I think by 7th grade, I got into Aeropostale. So like, you're not gonna fuck up my Aeropostale shirt. Like, that's what you're not gonna do. After the food fight, while the class is cleaning, Frankie discovers a concoction that was created and they all eat it and it tastes good. Apparently this purple sauce that they found kind of tastes like barbecue sauce. And honestly, when I rewatched it, I immediately thought about the pink sauce. Apparently it's at Family Dollar now and the sauce is not even pink anymore. Like, I wasn't trying to eat it when it was at its most popular, and I'm definitely not trying to eat it now. I feel like that's gonna start the next pandemic in about 50 years. Watch. Eddie shows interest in how the sauce was made, but DB shuts it down. Later at home, Eddie manages to recreate the sauce, and at his game the next day, Eddie has the sauce in a jar and one of his teammates finds it and starts eating it. DB starts to ask Eddie who made it and like, why does he have it, being annoying, and Hannah actually sticks up for Eddie and tells everyone that her mom made it and she brought some just cause, you know, she likes it. Eddie's team ends up winning the game and they have a whole cookout to celebrate. Like, the fact that they are throwing like a big ass cookout like they just won the championship because they won one game is crazy. But you'll see every time they win, they do these cookouts. So I guess it's just something they do when they win. I don't know. Eddie's mom catches him attempting to cook. He tries to explain himself and tells her how guys can cook too and it's not just a girl thing. But the mom is like, girl, I don't fucking care. Like, if you want to know how to cook, if you want to learn, if you want to cook, okay, like, do you need help from me? Like, do I need to get you some stuff? Like, let me know what I can do to help. And once again, Disney Channel moms being the coolest, saving the day. from these annoying ass dads. He tells her not to tell dad because we all know how dad's gonna react. She says that he might understand, but Eddie doesn't believe it. She promises him not to tell, and she helps him out. We then see a montage of Eddie both cooking and playing baseball. The home economics teacher announces to everyone in the class that Bridget made the finals for the cook-off as well as Eddie, to everyone's surprise.
And the other finalist is Eddie Ogden.
Yes!
Everyone celebrates Eddie except for DB, who's like off to the side looking all pissed off, like because he made it to a competition where he can win like money, you're mad? Like, bro, I be wanting to like contain myself because these are children we're talking about, like middle schoolers, and I am almost 30, but like, bro, why are you so mad? Like, is there something more deeper internally happening here? Like, do you need to talk to somebody about it? Let me know.
Do you like home ec? Yes or no?
No, I don't like it. I don't know. Maybe I don't hate it as much as you guys do. Sometimes it's not that bad.
Eddie's dad ends up finding out about a cook-off and he is pissed. He's all like, you lied, you snuck behind my back, why didn't you tell me? And then Eddie's like, I didn't tell you because of this reaction, like you're doing a lot because I want to learn how to cook, like this is exactly why I didn't tell you. And of course the dad gets even more annoyed that the mom knows about it, but he didn't. We didn't get a montage of Eddie being laughed at by the entire school for literally cooking. Like, I know it's 2003, but like, come on. And y'all are middle schoolers, but y'all are literally bullying this guy because he wants to cook and likes cooking. Cooking, which makes food, which everyone enjoys. Like, you may not know how to cook, you may not like cooking, but I know most people love food. So like, why are y'all so mad? If anything, I will be wanting to be his friend so that he can make me some food. Like, y'all missing out. The home ec teacher, Eddie, and Bridget begin training for the cook-off, causing Eddie to slack on baseball. After a loss, DB blames Eddie for them losing, even though he's the best player. Like, at this point, I feel like DB really wants to call Eddie a slur. The slur that starts with an F and ends with a T. The one that the Brits use to call cigarettes, like what they call cigarettes. That's what I feel like DB wants to say. Like, I feel like this is low-key, like... I feel like... The straights always talking about people pushing gay agendas, and I feel like I'm the main one. Because I feel like this movie has like a deeper meaning. Like, it's just not just cooking. It has to be something else. I don't know if it's gay shit, but it has to be something else. Like, please tell me I'm not like Delulu. While training, Eddie loses track of time and is late to the game. And I'm just like, DB blamed Eddie for losing the last game, but he misses like the first 3 innings of this game and y'all are being destroyed. So like, if anything, y'all need this man. But because Eddie was late, his dad, who remember is the coach, tells him he can't play, and they lose. DB asks Eddie what he plans to do if they make the playoffs because their playoff game would be the same day as the cook-off. But this is a dumb question because as of now, they haven't made the playoffs, so like you're about to get upset about a scenario that probably won't even happen. Eddie brings up this point and he and DB get into a fight that ends up turning into another food fight, but this time with the entire school. While training with his home ec teacher, Eddie goes off about hating how his friends, classmates, and his dad treat him just because he likes to cook. And this scene low-key got me emotional because like, I don't know, maybe the actor's just doing a great job, but like the way he just like is just upset because he likes to cook. Like when you just think about it, it's not like he said, oh, I like to punch old ladies in the face. It's my dream to do that all the time. Like, no, he wants to cook and he is getting so upset, almost to the point of tears, because people are like bullying him. His dad is treating him differently because he likes to cook. And that's why I feel like this movie has a double meaning, a double entendre. I don't know how you say it, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like there's a deeper meaning behind this, but let me not push the gay agenda.
I hate not having any friends. I hate that my dad can barely look at me. I hate that my brothers tease me. I hate that everybody makes fun of me because of this stupid cook-off. And more than anything, I hate chopping up vegetables.
Are you through?
Eddie storms out and the home ec teacher shades the fuck out of Bridget and she didn't even catch it.
Do you think that's why everybody makes fun of me? Because I love to cook?
No. Oh, no. There are plenty of other reasons. Okay, back to chopping.
During the team's final game before the playoffs, Eddie's dad tries to give them some coaching, but once again says one of the opposing team's players throws like a girl, causing the girl on the team, who's not Hannah, sorry, I can't really remember her name, she decides to speak up, as she should. Another kid calls him out for saying another team's coach was a nurse as an insult when his dad is also a nurse, and Hannah mentions how he always tells her she's just like one of the boys just because she's good. And like, bro, when you have like 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds calling you out on your craziness, like, you really need to take a look in the mirror, because these young people, these teenagers, are calling you out on some real shit, and you're just like, oh, lost for words. You don't even know what to say. The team wins the game, and there's another party at the house. At the party, Eddie's home ec teacher shows up. She tries to convince Eddie to come to the cook-off now that the team has made the playoffs, but he can't because it's on the same day, as I mentioned before. She really tries to get him to go, telling him that he has more potential than Bridget and that he's a natural, and he seems to really be taking it in. But of course his dad is in the background, just like, you know, really hammering it home that, you know, Eddie would never, you know, choose cooking over baseball. Like, he's gonna be at the championship game. Like, I'm sorry, Miss Home Ex sis, like, he's just not gonna go.
You've got Bridget, she'll be great.
Yeah, Bridget, sure. She can whisk till the cows come home. But she has no passion. She has no instinct. But you, Eddie Ogden, you're a natural. It's what you were born to do.
Eddie once again cooks in the middle of the night, and Eddie's dad actually watches him from the staircase, and I feel like at this moment he starts to realize that Eddie really likes to cook. Like, he's literally up at 2 a.m. cooking to like hide it from everyone. Like, maybe this is something that he's really passionate about, and I feel like this is finally where it clicks for him. The next day at the cook-off, Eddie shows up in his baseball uniform. He's amazed by everything he sees, including Bobby Flav. For some odd reason I put Bobby Flav in my notes, but I meant Bobby Flay, obviously. So Bobby Flay is there, live in the flesh. Eddie sees where his workstation would be, and Bobby comes up to him. Eddie tells him he can't stay, much to Bobby's disappointment. I forgot to mention it earlier, but Eddie was the only boy to make it to the finals of the cook-off, which is probably why Bobby Flay went up to him and was really excited to see him. But, you know, he can't stay because of the fucking baseball game. Like, I mean, yeah, baseball is a fun sport. I mean, I always say that baseball games are boring to like watch on TV, but if you go to a baseball game, it's actually pretty fun. And also, baseball players make bank. Did you see that one baseball player sign like a $900 million contract? Why was my mom not pushing baseball on me when I was younger? I would be made, because also with baseball, it's not a contact sport, so you don't get injured as often, and like, size doesn't matter in this case. But like, you know, football, you gotta be tall, you gotta be big. Baseball, you have to be tall. Baseball, you don't really need to be tall. I mean, you can be strong, but you can also like go to the gym and do that. But like, I can be a baseball player because I'm short. I can't play those other sports. Y'all think I can like start playing now as a 29-year-old, and then maybe in like 5 years I can go to the league? Imagine that. Anyway, at the game, it's going well, and Frankie is watching the cook-off on a TV that I feel like is edited. Like, I don't know, maybe in 2003 they had little mini TVs you can like carry around with you. I mean, I also had a video now around this time, so like, maybe that was possible. And shout out to Frankie, for being the one supportive friend, because he has supported him throughout this entire movie, while DB has been a little bitch. And Hannah was supportive too. Like, Hannah's been very supportive, but yeah. Shout out to Frankie. Eddie begins to struggle at the game, more than likely thinking about how he should be at the cook-off. Once again, DB blames Eddie for them losing, and Frankie and Hannah get him together as they should.
Well, I don't think that you making him choose between cooking and having friends is helping either, DB.
What? Now you've completely lost it. Eddie's here because he wants to be here. Because he wants to beat the Eagles.
Is that why you're here?
No, I'm here because I love baseball.
Yeah, kind of like Eddie and cooking, huh?
DB helps in his DB way and tells Eddie that they can win without him and to go to the cook-off. Before he leaves, his dad is all like, "You're quitting?" Ugh! That's how I wrote it in my notes, and like, me acting that out was so bad. Of course, mom is there. Like, soon as she noticed that Eddie was about to leave, she picks up her purse and she's like, "Oh no, you'll get there faster if I drive you," because mom is the real MVP. Eddie arrives to the cook-off and he's already lost about 30 minutes. Eddie's brothers watch from home as his team watches the cook-off as well as play the game. Hannah's mom comes and she pretends to be a cheerleader but ends up confronting her mom about, she doesn't care about cheerleading, she loves baseball. And the mom's like, girl, why do you say so? Like, I'll be in the stands cheering you on, sis. Like, go team. This inspires Eddie's dad to be kicked out of the game so that he can go to the cook-off to help Eddie. Eddie's brothers arrive to the cook-off and start a chant for him. The cook-off finishes and Bridget ends up winning, while at the game, the Groundhogs win the championship. Eddie is super upset at losing, but his dad actually comes through with the wisdom, telling him that you doing what you love is more important than winning, which finally, dad, in the last 15 minutes of the movie, you finally get it together. Everyone celebrates the Groundhogs winning, including the home ec teacher, who doesn't seem to be giving a fuck that her actual other student, Bridget, actually won. Like, Bridget is off by herself and the home ec teacher is with Eddie, his team, his parents, like, go Eddie, while Bridget holds her fucking trophy. When everyone leaves to go get food, Bridget, who is all alone, asks if she can come with them. The movie ends with Eddie inviting her with them and them both looking at the trophy as, the credits roll. So this is the third Disney Channel original movie I've talked about on my channel, and I feel like if I had to rank these 3 movies before my rewatches, I would have did Pixel Perfect, Motocross, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. But I feel like now I would put Eddie's at number 1, Pixel Perfect at 2, Motocross at 3. Like, I really love this movie. Like, this movie is actually really good on a rewatch. Like I said, I feel like there's a double meaning to this, which is probably why I feel like I like it a little bit more as an adult. But I feel like the lead in this movie, the guy who plays Eddie, don't know his name, I'm sorry, is the better lead out of all the other 2 movies. And I mean, I love me some Ricky Oldman. Like, that is my man. And he did good as Roscoe in Pixel Perfect 2, but I really liked the way this guy portrayed Eddie. I mean, the actual plot of the movie is pretty dumb. Like, everyone's mad that this boy wants to cook, but I feel like it's a good story. It's a good lesson being taught to kids that, it doesn't matter what you want to do, cooking, baseball, boy, girl, you should be able to do what you love to do with no judgment. So that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, as I mentioned at the beginning of the movie. And I will see you guys next Sunday with a brand new video. Adios.